Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. So, in order to lose weight, there's no denying that it's calories in, calories out, bottom line, boom. If you want to lose weight, you eat less than what you're eating now. If you want to gain weight, you eat more than what you're eating now. But most people who don't keep track of what they're eating don't know what that number is because they don't know how many calories they're consuming, right? A lot of people go to the gym and they're running on a treadmill for hours and wondering why they're not losing weight. Well, it's because you're not eating the right amount of calories to be in a calorie deficit. One thing we have to be mindful of when keeping track of our calories is nutrition labels, right? Because nutrition labels are going to tell us how many calories and how many macros are in the amount of food that we're going to consume. In most of these nutrition labels, you'll see at the top, it'll measure out an amount and it'll say this amount in grams and it'll say how many calories each food item has for how many grams of that item. So now it's the fun part, calories and macros, right? So we have three macros. We have protein, carbs, and fats, right? So we know protein is the building block for muscle, right? And a gram of protein is 4 calories. Then there's carbs, which are used for energy, right? A gram of carbs equals 4 calories. And then fats is also used for energy, and a gram of fat equals 9 calories. All these macros are the building blocks of how many calories we eat in a day. So how do you know how many calories you should be eating? Well, an easy way to do this is to use a TDEE calculator, which is total daily energy expenditure. So basically, you plug in your height, your weight, and kind of how much exercise you're doing, and it'll give you an estimate on how many calories it takes for you to maintain your body weight. If you want to lose 1 pound of body fat, you have to burn 3,000 calories in order to do so. So when we're in a weight loss phase, we're usually in a 500 calorie deficit just by food. For eating 500 less calories, that's 3,500 calories in a week. So that's a little over a pound of fat burned just from what you're eating. Then that's when cardio takes place, right? So you're already burning 3,500 calories just from eating. Now you add cardio in and that's going to burn extra amount of calories. So that's why it starts with dieting, right? You have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight, right? Everyone think that carbs are the problem, but carbs aren't the problem. The problem is eating bad carbs. Eating a lot of foods with sugars are the carbs that you want to stay away from, right? Because they're very high in calories because of the sugar content.
Let me get one of those beers. Let me get another.
Another thing to be mindful when dieting and trying to lose weight is liquid calories, right? There's so many sugary drinks that are just loaded with calories that could be used for actually eating regular food, right? You look at a can of soda, and a can of soda is like 150 calories for a 12-ounce can. But if you're drinking 3 to 4 of them a day, that's almost 500 calories just wasted on, drinking that soda when you could be eating a full big meal. So by eliminating these liquid calories, you're saving more space for eating actual food that's going to keep you filled. So when you're losing weight and you're eating less calories, it's better to eat less fats because fats are very calorie dense, right? A gram of fat is 9 calories. So if you eliminate the amount of fats that you eat, you have more space for eating carbs and protein, right? You could eat virtually double the amount. When cooking, you should stick away from cooking with oils such as butter and vegetable oil because those two are really bad for you. It's better to stick with oils such as olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, and things like that. It's better to cook with those oils in a spray because you're going to be able to control how much you're putting in, right? Most of those say that it's 0 calories for a spray, but the spray is a quarter of a second, which nobody is. So you're going to get a few calories from actually using a spray, but it's going to save you than if you use vegetable oil or even butter. You could be doing all the cardio in the world and still not lose weight. Why? Because you're not in a calorie deficit, right? Any number below your maintenance calories, you're going to start to lose weight if you stay consistent with it over time. So basically, at the start of losing weight, the first thing you have to do is you have to lose your glycogen stores. And your glycogen stores is carbs that are stored inside your muscles that are going to be released for energy. So the first couple pounds that you lose is not really fat. You're not in that fat loss phase until you lose those glycogen stores. Now your body starts to burn fat and use it for energy. When you're losing weight, you should get a scale and even a food scale, right? You should start tracking your progress. And then you could use like an app like MyFitnessPal to track out what you're doing, or you could do it the old-fashioned way and do it on pen and paper. But at first, I recommend, weighing out everything and making sure that your diet is on point, right? Eventually, all this is going to become really easy. The more consistent you do it, eventually it's going to be second nature to pull out the scale, put the bow on, tear it out, and then add your food in and measure it up. So don't be intimidated up front, because it's going to take some time to get used to that. I highly suggest not to lose more than 2 pounds a week, because the faster you lose weight, the faster your energy levels are starting to go down as well. So keeping it at about 2 pounds or less a week, you'll have more energy and be able to sustain that diet longer. It is important to get adequate rest when training, because that is when your body is rebuilding itself, right? It's still burning fat, but it's also building muscle while you're resting, right? You can't just keep working out every single day, because you're just going to keep tearing your muscle and you're not going to give it time to heal itself. Really, the only supplements that you need when you're losing weight is protein, and that's just going to help you when you're trying to reach your protein goal. One rule to go by for how much protein you should be eating is you should be eating about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if I weighed 150 pounds, I should be eating about 150 grams of protein, right? And this is whether you're bulking, you're cutting, or you're maintaining your body weight, right? It just makes it so much simpler if you just stick with 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Over time, when you're in your calorie deficit, you're going to start losing less weight, and that's because you weigh less now. So eventually you're going to have to adjust your calories, maybe subtract some more in order to lose more weight. The faster you lose weight, the more likely you are to lose muscle. So if your goal is to build more muscle, it is better to be in a small calorie deficit and be in that diet for a little bit longer, because you're more likely to build more muscle over time. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, peace.